Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This video is part 6 of the 1960s bathroom remodel job. In this clip you can see I'm beginning to install the tile in the bathroom floor. Me and Isaac are getting the pieces cut out for the pattern on the floor. The client ended up going with a 50% stagger. As you can see, it almost looks like a brick pattern. So there I am, tiling around the toilet flange and getting all of the tiles installed. It's very important to thin set your subfloor and back butter your tiles so that way you have a really good installation. The thin set will adhere onto the floor and the back of the tile. So here I am making sure my joints line up. We ran out of that gray thin set, so we started using that white thin set. So that's what you saw there, the discoloration. And then with this layout, we ended up having a small, skinny, like 3/4 inch piece maybe of tile, but you don't really see it because the baseboard covers about 1/2 inch of it and the vanity covers most of it. So you don't really see that strip of tile all that much. You guys will see once you guys get to the end of the series. But here we are finishing up the bathroom floor. And now I'm getting ready to install the back tiles of the shower. I have my first tile installed right there. I'm doing also a 50% stagger as well on this shower. And the client went with a 16th inch grout joint. 1/16 of an inch is actually really good when it comes to rectified tiles because they have a sharp edge, and so it makes the grout joint even noticeably more smaller than a beveled edge. And so here I am making sure my tiles are leveled.
Alright guys, so we got the back wall started. Finished up the niche. Nice clean miters. It's a 50% stagger.
Alright guys, so in this clip here you guys can see us finishing up that back wall. Isaac's tiling around the window. One thing I forgot to mention was these spacers that we're using, they also act as self-leveling clips. There's different types. There's wedges, there's spindles, there's all kinds. We personally like these ones. And so what we tend to do is we'll put them when it comes to all tile installation, just so that way you have a flat, even surface within all of the tiles that you're installing. They come in really handy. Gives the tile a nicer finish. Here I am installing a piece of porcelain tile for the bench, and I'm getting ready to install the tiles on that back wall for the benches while Isaac finishes up the window. Anytime it comes to installing tile around a niche or a window with that metal trim, that Schluter metal trim, it becomes very time consuming. It's super tedious because you're having to cut a lot of pieces and make sure that they're all, nice, and have your miters all nice and stuff. So here you can see us doing all the detail work right now.
Alright, so we got from here up all that stuff. Niche is our window's complete, sorry. Niche was already done. And then we continued the grout joint. This one's covered by tape, but that's how it looks. Same thing for the top. And then this one as well. And then Angel completed the bench top, and then he started this row. Tomorrow we'll take all that up and we'll finish wrapping the bench, and then we just need this wall. But that's how it looks right now. Also got the door installed. But yeah, tomorrow we'll get this wall knocked out, and then I'll start working on this one.
Alright guys, so here I am the next day, starting to run my tile up that wall. Isaac is working on the other wall as I'm doing that one, so you can see us killing two birds with one stone there. The type of thinset that we're using is called Prolite. It's from Custom. It's actually a really good thinset when it comes to installing tiles on walls because it's really sticky, versus floor thinset, which is not as sticky. And if you use, for example, thinset for flooring, the thinset sort of sags and isn't as sticky, as gravity tends to, bring it down. So we like to use this type of mortar thinset. Here's a clip of the homeowner that you saw right there. He was checking up on our work there. The clients were really happy and really satisfied with the craftsmanship of our work and all of the attention to detail. We got a lot of praise from them. You can also see Isaac starting to go up on that wall with his tile as well. It's really nice when you have two people installing tile because it can get really time consuming. One important thing to do when you're tiling a shower is making sure that your walls are plumb and flat, because in the future when you want to install like a shower glass door or whatever, it makes your life so much more easier when the tiles are flat and plumb. So as we're installing, we're checking for plumb and making sure that we're flat and all that. So Isaac is finishing up that wall in this clip. he had to cut some tiles around for the shower valve and that shower head that you see up there.
Money.
Yeah.
Can you move
Just take off a blade. That's it.
off what the back?
Yeah. But the top is fine. The top and the height. Pick up blade.
Yeah. Good.
Alright guys, so as you guys can see in this clip, I'm finishing up the bench there. That bench was sort of tedious, but we got it done. And you can also see Isaac getting ready to install the tiles for the curb. It's really important for the top of the curb to have a slight pitch towards the shower. That way when you have your glass sitting on top of that curb, the water flows down towards the shower and doesn't, puddle or anything like that. So it's really important to have a slight pitch towards the shower. So Isaac's getting the Schluter metal trim cut out to fit. He's installing that top row first and then the side pieces. And I'm doing the pieces on the inside of the shower for the curb. This day we actually decided to work longer because we decided to just wrap up this shower with all the tile. That way the next day we just started grouting, so this day we were kind of working late, finishing up that curb. But
It's actually better to take them off with. Alright guys, so I just discovered that it's actually easier to take these off with the caps on. Because I was always sort of like hesitant or kind of afraid of hitting these with the mallet because I didn't want to break these, But now, I think it's actually better. Because if you hit these without this, we've noticed that like it won't completely come off, you see? And it gets super annoying because you're like having to like, you know, hit them off and stuff, and then you're having to get your knife and like cut this plastic, and it just gets annoying. But I think they actually come off completely with these still on. Yeah, they do. Yeah, literally. Well, that's good to know. Yeah. Damn, dude.
Alright guys, so we're ready for grout. I got the window covered up. All the joints are cleaned. And then obviously we put tape all around the edges. Floor's cleaned up as well. This was just extra, but I covered the toilet flange just so we wouldn't get grout into the slot where the anchor bolt's gonna go. And then the valve is also covered. You can see. Finished the curb yesterday. Nice clean. Ended up lining up, which was pretty cool. That wasn't planned, but yeah, that lined up with this. All this is gonna get grouted. That's how that looks. And Angel's mixing the grout. Got poly blend non-sanded. The color is pewter. You can see that. It's like a light gray. But right now, because it's wet, it's obviously darker. I'm ready to grout.
Alright guys, so this wraps up the video. Right here you could just see that Isaac's just finishing painting the baseboards, doing the last coat. Overall, the tile installation actually went pretty well, pretty smooth. We didn't really have any hiccups or anything like that. The client was super happy with the work and how it turned out. The color of the grout went really well with all of the tile that we installed, so that was really nice. Alright guys, so as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.